getting into this episode of GH, Eileen is crazy as hell. I knew this shit wasn't gonna end well for her. I knew it. That's why I said before, Eileen should have, the moment Laura and everybody busted her and they made it known that she was caught, that she was working with Victor, her stupid ass should have packed up her shit, resigned from being deputy mayor, packed up her stuff, emptied out her bank accounts, and left the fucking country. She should have been did that shit. Because for one, she should have known. She always knew she was indisposable to Victor. Victor was going to get rid of her no matter what. He doesn't like loose ends. Even if she thought she was an asset to him, you're an asset to him in that moment. Once you're no longer an asset to him, he's going to get rid of you because he knows that Eileen could always come back later and be a thorn in his ass. Like she would have some type of proof of his dirty deeds, so or testify against him. So why his intention was never, I don't think, to keep her alive. It was never that. He was just going to use her up, sex her up for as long as he could, and once that was done and he was tired of her, she was of no more use, boom, he was going to get rid of you. And she was also nuts to think Anna, Robert, Valentine, and all of them could protect her against Victor. Look how well that turned out. Robert got to the damn hotel room late as shit. Like, by the time he got there, her ass was gone. Victor done took her to the damn footbridge. I'm like, she should have had a better plan for this shit because she put all her eggs in the wrong baskets. Because I'm like, I would have just dipped, like just got the hell out of the country, changed my name, changed my hair, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just flew under the radar. Like she was fucked no matter what team she joined. You know what I'm saying? And she trying to sit here and play this little flip flop game, like sitting here working for Anna and them now. Now you done flip back to Victor's side, hoping that that would save her life. That wasn't gonna save her damn life because once you cross Victor, there's no crossing back. She should have known that. She should have known that. Victor used her for one last little assignment, you know, to call Anna and them and, you know, just alert them that, oh, you're not compromised, everything's still according to plan, everything good. She was stupid as hell for telling Victor everything. Oh, Valentine's alive, Lucy's alive. I'm like, oh my God. And she really thought that was going to save her little ass? No ma'am. He done pushed her little shit right over that bridge. And that's what she get too. She should have played this shit better. She should have been smarter. Um, should have known better. I did like those scenes though with Robert and Diane. I loved it because Diane wasn't scared. Diane had his back. Like she didn't give a damn about no Victor. She had his back. She went and got that master key so he wouldn't have to kick that door in. I loved it. I said, go ahead, Diane. I would love for her and Robert to get together. I love the little small flirty stuff that they be doing with each other. I would love for them to become a couple. I could definitely see it. And it's about time for Robert to have some love in his life. You know, it's been far too long. And I know he's been hung up on Holly for some years. But, you know, he need to move on. Like, he need to get something new. You know, he needs some love in his life. Everything can't just be pining over Holly and work, work, work all the time. Because that's pretty much all Robert does is work. So it's time for him to get some loving. And I'm not mad at him and Diane because Diane a feisty one. And she can handle his life, you know, even the spy stuff. I think Diane could, she doesn't scare. I mean, she's been a mob lawyer for years, so, you know, she's fierce like that, so I wouldn't mind it. Anna and Valentine honestly need to get the hell on about that safe house because y'all not safe no more. Like you're not safe. This man knows the jig is up. He knows y'all move now. He knows that y'all are all alive. So Lucy might as well take her little ass back to Port Charles so she can run this ball the way she wants to run it. Lucy was working my damn nerve. Like the whole time she was on the phone with Maxi, I don't blame Maxi for just going crazy and hanging up on her. I didn't see anything wrong with Maxi's ideas for the ball. Like they all came up with good ideas. And even Bobby knew if Lucy was around and seen her on that stage being the MC, she knew Lucy would lose her shit. Like Lucy was not going for that. Um, I like the idea of having multiple hosts for the nurses ball. Like I like Maxi and them idea for it, and Sasha and all that. I like the collaboration that they were doing. And I think it is a good idea. You know, not just Bobby having to, you know, bring out all the talent, introduce everybody. They'll have different people doing it. I thought that was a great idea. I don't know why Lucy hated it so much. I mean, I understand Lucy loves the nurses ball. It means a lot to her, but it means a lot to everybody. You know what I mean? So, of course, Maxie and Bobby are going to make sure that it's done proper. But you also have to do new things with it. You know what I'm saying? Like Lucy can't do it the same way she did it last year or the year before. You got to come up with new innovative ideas. You know what I mean? And I think this is a good idea to have multiple people being a presenter, being, you know, a host basically. You have a collective group. And I think that's good, you know. Lucy is just a pain in the ass. She was working Maxi nerve on that phone. Being a little control freak. And I definitely felt bad for Maxi because this is what Maxi does. Like, she loves planning events. And I think Maxi probably felt a little offended that, you know, her ideas were being questioned, knowing that she put on many events in that town. Like, she's planned a lot of stuff for people in that town that have come out beautiful, even though things, you know, got tense because of people's secrets, but the event came off very lovely. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got the decor down right. Maxie know what she's doing. And I feel like she definitely does not get the credit she deserves for planning events because she's the shit at it. But Lucy is just a control freak when it comes to things. Like, Lucy likes everything her way. So if you're doing stuff your way and it contradicts her way, of course you're going to get some pushback from her. That's obvious. But, you know, I'm glad Maxie just hung up on her ass, and I think Maxie should just, you know, her and Bobby should do the ball how they want to do it. So anyway, it was so good to see Felix. I wish we could see more of him. It's dope that he's being a stage director. I'm just so over everybody trying to push BLQ to, you know, reconcile with Chase or whatever. At this point, it's like, let that shit go. Let it go. You know, and BLQ is definitely trying to keep her distance because she felt like, you know what, he made up his mind, he made his choice, he didn't want to be with her, and I agree, let it go at this point. They were bickering a little bit, but I'm like, you know what, they just need to be single or date somebody else at this point, because I'm tired of the back and forth with them. That shit is a pain in the ass. But I'm glad Sasha's, you know, getting involved with this, you know, with the help planning and all that stuff. I'm glad because I think it is good for her and it'll take her mind off of all her other problems and her grief and stuff like that. It's good to throw yourself in something and be busy. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that she's doing that. So anyway, moving on from that. I don't know what the hell Cameron was thinking bringing that girl to that party. I mean, I get it. Cameron has such a big heart. I give him that. Like, even when people do him wrong, he still tries to see the good in people. He still tries to reconcile with people. I respect it. I really do. Like, I always say he's better than me because some of that reconciliation he be trying to do with some people, I wouldn't be doing it, but he better than me. You know, and that's a testament to how he was raised. Despite what I may feel or have felt about Elizabeth throughout the years with her shenanigans, she has raised good sons. I give her that. You know what I'm saying? I cannot take away, you know, her parenting. Like, she has done a great job with all of her boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how Cameron has turned out. You know, nice kid. I think he could have a dark side to him because, I mean, look who his biological daddy is. So I think sometimes when people do him wrong, that dark side could kind of creep out a little bit, but he knows how to rein it in. You know what I mean? He knows how to tap into that kinder side of him because that's the way he was raised. You know, I still think it was crazy of him to invite Esme, but I kind of get why he did it because he feels like, you know, if Franco of all people could turn his life around, then he feels like there's hope for Esme. You know, I get it. It was different circumstances, but I get where he's coming from with that. I just don't see Esme ever changing. Memory or no memory, I don't see her ever fully changing. Like, I don't see her becoming something that Franco was. I don't see it. Could it happen? Maybe. I just don't see it. I just feel like she always gonna have some shadiness to her. She always gonna be up to some type of shenanigan. So I can't blame everybody for giving her the side eye. Scott was definitely not happy to see her. Scott was pissed that she was at that party. He wasn't happy. Jocelyn wasn't happy. Spencer, none of them were happy. But, you know, Cameron did what he had to do because she was going to take off with that child. You know, she was going to run off and they probably wouldn't have seen her. You know, they probably never would have seen her again. I don't see how because, I mean, at the end of the day, that money that Lord gave her, like I said before, that money wasn't a whole lot. So I don't see how she was going to go far, but okay. That money probably would have lasted her maybe a day at best. Maybe a day and a half. And after that, she would have been broke because, you know, you got to feed yourself. You got to find shelter for you and your baby. You got to feed your baby. You got to get diapers. That money wouldn't have lasted her that long. It was a good stack of money, but it wouldn't have lasted her, you know. Um, but I get where Cameron coming from. I do. But overall, he still had an amazing party, and I love the speech that Scott gave. Because he's an amazing kid, and I hope that he does great things at Stanford, and I hope we get to see him in the summer. Hopefully, William Lipton will pop back in or whatever, and hopefully, him and little Emma Drake could become a couple. Because I think she in college now too, so hopefully that might work out. And I know she in Cali, so it might work out for him. Because I think Cameron deserves the best. You know, he's a good kid. Um, and it was hard watching Elizabeth, hug her son and stuff like that because she knows that she's saying goodbye to him. Well, not goodbye, but I'll see you later. And that's not easy for a parent. When their kids are flying the coop, they're leaving the nest. It's not easy. But Elizabeth did an amazing job with him, and I think he's going to go off and do great things. But at least she has solace in knowing at least she got two other kids still at the house for the time being. So, it's not a major blow. The major blow for me came when Elizabeth tried to call Epiphany. I felt a lump in my throat when she called Epiphany phone and that trooper or officer or whatever answered that phone. I said, oh my God. And they were telling her something over the phone and she started tearing up. I said, oh. A big part of me wanted Epiphany's character to stay alive off screen, but I knew that was going to be hard to do because when a lot of stuff is going down in Port Charles, such as the stuff that's going down with Elizabeth, you would expect Epiphany to pop up, to be a counsel to her and stuff like that. So if they were to kept Epiphany's character alive, they would have to explain her absence every single time. So I get why they have to, kill the character off too, but it's hard. I wish they could have kept that character alive, but I get it. For storyline purposes, it makes sense to just pay tribute and axe the character, which is going to be very hard because I love me some Epiphany. Honestly, this was a pretty solid episode. I definitely understand, like I said, where Cam coming from, where Esme is concerned, but he can't expect everybody to be nice towards that girl. Like, everybody gonna have their guard up as they should. Because, like I said, memory or no memory, I wouldn't trust their ass. So I get why, Jocelyn, Trina, and Spencer, of course, would be hostile towards her. Because after everything she done did, she's capable of anything. You know what I mean? So they got to keep an eye on that one. But this was a decent installment today. I enjoyed it for the most part. Hit the comments. Let me know what you all thought about this episode. Peace.